Good evening, people. Welcome back to Motozar TV, South Africa's leading Formula One fan channel. Today, we've got a special guest all the way in Paris, the city of love, Patrice Loni from F.1 Godfather on Instagram. Catch him there and follow his content. Really interesting stuff. Open-minded content creator from France. How you doing, Pat?
Yes, thanks for having me. Yes, it's pretty cool. I had the normal day at work, 9 to 5 job, and then tonight I have the pleasure to be speaking about Formula One. Um,
Yes,
the
your
passion.
favorite
So,
pastime.
yep. Have the luck to speak with you. So, pretty much happy. So, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And there's the announcement on our Twitch saying we are live there as well, if you can see. Okay, it's gone now.
Okay.
Anyway, but it's cool. Yes, bruv, thank you for making time to come and chat with us. We've been looking forward to this. Last time we did it on Instagram because we had a few challenges here on YouTube and our streaming services. But it's great that now we are sorted and let's get the conversation going. Where do you want to begin? I want to
I
talk
don't
about
know. There's
Perez,
so
to
much
be
to
honest.
say, but we can maybe start with the. We have time this post-season, so let me maybe
Let me just
start
close
about
the door here.
Yep.
There we go. You don't want to see my closet. Woo. And then here. That's fine, yeah? Okay,
Yep.
sorry, I'm back. So you say, where do you want to begin? Sorry.
Yeah. I wanted to talk. No, we can talk. There's so much to say about the season, how it goes. We can maybe talk about if we are happy or not about the season. Maybe we can start with that. You hear me properly because
Well, I
I
think
think my son is crying.
no, I can hear you. I can hear you. There's no
Okay.
problems today. I think just to give our audience a bit of background, let's just do a quick rundown of how the season ended. Of course, Max Verstappen winning the Drivers' Championship, setting the record for the most number of wins in an F1 season with 15 wins. He has 7 pole positions. And Red Bull won the Constructors' Championship. I think they have 719 points. So
I
I
think
think it's just
is it? Yeah. It's pretty. Let me. Sorry to interrupt you, but I was
no
thinking
worries,
about
no worries.
the chart because I was watching, whether asking myself whether Red Bull got the most number of points um, in a single season, but I think they have like 759, if I'm
Oh,
correct.
759. Yes.
Maybe
Okay, I'm just
maybe
gonna
I'm wrong,
open
but
my F1 app.
yeah, we can like check live.
Yeah.
let me
No, it's
let me
fine. I
as well.
mean, I'm checking. You can keep chatting.
And then I
Standings.
think they did not outscore Mercedes from 2016, who I believe are with 765 points. But
Oh, really? Jeez.
yeah,
I think I said on my live on Sunday, the post race live and season review, that is actually the most points. But you're right. They're actually 6 points short, 759.
yep,
So Rosberg and Lewis hold the record.
that pairing is very underrated, but that pairing, Lewis and Nico, is very it's like it's pure domination of the F1 sport, and even though
100%.
Red Bull had a very efficient car this year, they did not manage to outperform that. But maybe we can.
I think that's a good talking point to start on because if you think about it, there were 3 sprint races this season.
Mm,
and more races than there were in 2019. I mean,
mm,
2016. So surely that's a reflection on Red Bull's strategy, because I think the reason that they haven't collected that many constructors' points is because obviously Sergio Perez didn't finish second in the championship.
mm-hmm.
Yes. So in 2016, obviously Nico Rosberg won the title and then Lewis finished second.
Yep.
Yeah. So I feel as though they've missed the trick there. And this is a good place for us to start because I think this is the hottest topic right now in
Yeah,
F1.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen, civil
Yep,
war.
yep, yep, yep,
Agiri,
yep.
with
So yeah,
the
if you want,
Mercedes, they said it was the silver war. So now the Red Bull is a civil war.
no,
Yeah.
no, there is no war. There's no war at Red Bull because Sergio Perez is not, unfortunately, he's a good driver, but not enough to fight Max. So basically, that's why even though they could have helped him, or they could have given him back the favor and everything, at the end of the day, Max is much quicker than Sergio. Um, when the car was not in his liking at the beginning of the season, and after the car
Hmm.
went more to his liking, uh, starting from Azerbaijan or Canada, um, Max is just the better driver. So there is not really competition from Checo, who is a good driver, is a nice character and everything. But yeah, unfortunately, he lacks in qualifying. He lacks in especially in race pace. And
Hmm.
clearly this Sunday when he started, pointing that Max was maybe holding him up. Once he comes to say something like that on the radio, Max, boom, is gone. So yeah, basically it's yeah, he has no Max has no competition at Red Bull. He the only guy that
100%.
could compete with him. We can argue that people could argue that the team favor Max or whatever, but I think at the end of the
Hmm.
day, it's just the better driver, regardless of the team um,
Whether he's
liking
number
him
one
up.
or not.
Yeah,
No, I have to agree with you there. I see we already have Christo Porta in the comments section. He's saying Hamilton's first winless season in 15 years has to be talked about. And
of course.
Mercedes' incredible reliability, only
Hmm.
having one breakdown all season, is seriously impressive. So he's just alluding to Lewis finally going through an F1 season without a win. Of course, it's the first time throughout his whole F1 career. And he had a DNF, of course, on Sunday at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which was his first mechanical failure. I think he
Hmm.
had an hydraulic issue, right?
I believe
It
so.
was a hydraulic issue.
Okay, okay.
So he says that we have to obviously touch on that, but I think it's fair for us to start with the champions because
Hmm.
we were talking about Red Bull. Then we'll work our way down to Ferrari, and then Mercedes, and then who finished fourth? Alpine,
Yep.
and in fifth place McLaren.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
It was
sixth
interesting.
is,
Maybe
yes,
AlphaTauri
who's the
or
sixth?
or
Aston
or may,
Aston Martin, I think.
okay, it's not Alfa Romeo. Okay, okay. Let me.
Yeah, then Alfa Romeo. I'll confirm. I mean,
Yeah, me
oh, you're
too.
right. It's Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin. Okay, so
Okay.
let's just give a quick rundown of the points. So it's 759 for Red Bull,
Mm-hmm.
554 for Ferrari, it's 515 for Mercedes, 173 for Alpine in fourth,
Mm-hmm.
159 in fifth for McLaren. I think they'll be disappointed with that. And Alpine will be happy that they won that battle because, yeah, it was tight. In
Yep.
the beginning, it seemed as though McLaren was stronger than them. Then you're right, it is Alfa Romeo on 55 points. Oh, them and Aston Martin, they have the same number of points. But I think when you do the
Wow.
countback system, Alfa Romeo then wins. Yes.
Yep.
And then they followed by Haas in eighth
Incredible.
on 37.
Yep.
Incredible. It really is. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
credit to both those teams, because in
Mm-hmm.
all true honesty, last season they were nowhere. And then
Mm-hmm.
Haas is in eighth. They've also done well with 37 points, followed by AlphaTauri. They're not
Mm-hmm.
doing well, in my opinion, anyway.
Yep.
And then in last place is Williams on 8 points. So,
Disappointing.
what we're
Very
going to do,
disappointing.
very disappointing. So, what we'll do, so that we have structure and obviously there's a time constraint on your side, we'll give
Mm.
each team 5 minutes. So now it's 21:12. I'll do the timekeeping. So, Red
Okay.
Bull, sum it up for me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Red Bull, pretty much a dominant season. They've been, one could argue that, yeah, Ferrari was the quicker car at the beginning of the season. Some races, it's right. But yeah, turning point in France, since France, only one team could beat Red Bull, and it was Mercedes in Brazil since France. So this is pretty much impressive. They've done a good job, whether you like them or not, the way they operate and everything. No,
Mhm.
no, it's good. They've done an amazing job. The only down part of the Pascal Bridge, we don't know what could they could have been benefiting from last season onto this season. We don't know. Maybe it's speculation.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
I'm saying
Oh yeah.
maybe, maybe I'm saying wrong. What is surprising is like what I would say something. What surprises me is the way they've been able to create such a dominant car when they were one of the few teams, one of the last teams to transition until to this season. So that's what
To
Honors was
2020.
saying. Yeah,
Yes.
but I believe the fact, but maybe there are reasons for it. First of all,
Mhm.
Adrian Newey gives us a good answer of it when he talked to Automotor und Sport. I think it was like several weeks ago, saying that yeah, he knew about the ground effect and everything. So
Uh-huh.
that he studied, that he was surprised that other teams didn't manage to get over it. What's interesting is like when they've made the rules, maybe I don't know, they knew that only maybe only Newey knew about it. But
Uh-huh.
fair enough, they've done a tremendous job. Max has won 15 races, so he has the record of most wins in a single season. So I don't think it will be hard for this record to be beaten because it will require another team to to have like two drivers that are very um, you know
Competitive.
they that are not very, but I would say that they are the one driver has the edge of the other one. It will require this, and then it will depend on which team does it, because when it's Max Verstappen, it looks like it's okay, but whenever it's other drivers, it looks like it could be a problem. So yeah, let's see how it will evolve next year. I hope there will be more competition, because this year we didn't have competition for the title, even though they're giving numbers that they've increased the overtaking and everything. But for me, the season is disappointing. I expected much more from this season. And what do you think about Red Bull?
Yeah, same. No, same. Look, Red Bull, we can only take our hats off to them.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a splendid job. I mean, I think you've said everything that needs to be said around them, irrespective of our personal feelings. We put that aside, and I mean, at the end of the day, before we are Lewis or Mercedes fans, we are Formula One fans. And from an engineering perspective, from a strategic perspective, from a at
Mm-hmm.
least one of the side of the garages, with the driver perspective, they really get for me, uh, 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm happy with that. But before we move to Ferrari, I just want to unpack this whole situation with Daniel Ricciardo. I see that on Instagram he's trending,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that he's
Mm-hmm.
finally signed the thing. So, what are your thoughts
Mm-hmm.
around that? Like, Christian Horner seems over the moon with this signing, eh?
Yeah, that's
It's
the
like he's
thing.
just signed a marquee signing.
Yeah, yeah, it's like yeah. That's the thing has stricken me when I saw the Red Bull post. It was like all smiles, like Daniel is back to the team and everything. I don't know when if I see my personal opinion and I may be wrong. Some I'm wrong.
Hmm.
Everyone can be wrong, but if we see
Hmm.
the chronological side of things, what happened in Brazil,
The sequence
people,
of events.
yeah, the sequence, people then
Uh-huh.
going to watch whether Sergio Perez, it came from the journalist from the Telegraph, and then people started to look at Sergio Perez lap in Monaco. Some of the footage was shown as he was guilty of it, and that was the reason.
Mhm.
And then in
Mhm.
Abu Dhabi, Max said he would help, but he did not really help, although Sergio should have been quicker as well. And as soon as something like that happens, we hear about Ricciardo uh, coming back to the team, to Max's team. So yeah, it's and now and I've posted on my Instagram page about having the feeling that Sergio Perez uh, days are numbered, because I saw uh, an interview from David Coulthard saying basically that Max, he was like defending Max's behavior in Brazil, and then came to Perez saying that first of all, his career was over, and Red Bull, saved his career, because he's right. He was out of F1 when Racing Point, then Aston
Racing
Martin,
points became Aston Martin.
yeah, to
Yes.
got Vettel. He had a contract for 2021, but they decided to end Sergio Perez contract, and then he had the opportunity to drive for Red Bull. So David Coulthard was saying something like that, and basically he said like if Sergio is not happy, he could leave the team, and but if he's not happy, he leaves the team. But if he leaves the team, where is he going? So if David Coulthard, a very a guy, we can say he's a Red Bull guy. It's not.
Yes, he is a Red
He's a
guy.
he's a former Red
You
Bull
don't have to.
driver. Every
You
at
don't
every
have to.
end of the season,
Yeah.
he interviews Max. For the post end, interview for Car Next and everything. So he knows what he's talking about, and but I could be wrong. It could be just gossip, but we know how it's going. It's the sequence of things that are happening that could, prove to be the first step of Daniel Ricciardo replacing maybe Sergio Perez at Red Bull. But I may be wrong.
So tell me on that before we move, because we've exceeded our 5 minutes for Red Bull,
Mm,
but it's fine. They are champions after all. So
mm.
now, when would you anticipate that this switch would happen?
I don't know. It will depend how it will go next year. Basically, I think they will have to read. Sergio Perez to save his career, he has to go much faster. He has to go much faster during qualifying, during races. It will be the.
So let's say, okay, let me paint a scenario.
Mm,
Let's say Perez finds the extra tenth or two that he needs
mm,
to be close enough to race for wins every race weekend.
mm,
What does that mean for the dynamic of the relationship within Red Bull between him and Max? Won't that trigger more tension?
It could be. We've seen what Jos Verstappen wrote on the Verstappen.com website after the race in Monaco. So
Oh, yeah, I
yeah,
remember that.
so it could
A
be
lost opportunity.
something especially when it's a fight for the title. It's
Mhm.
the tension goes higher. So it could be, but let's say I don't believe it will happen. Um, but it's the third year. Maybe
But
he finds something.
to be fair, I hear you. Before Monaco, Sergio was quite competitive.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, Charles and Max were leading, winning the races, etc. But Sergio, for instance, in Spain, he could have won that race. He won
Yeah,
in
but
Monaco,
yeah.
you know, and races that followed after that. It's where sort of we saw a dip in his form, where after this article that you're talking about on the Verstappen website, where Jos was uh, showing that his displeasure about the decisions that were made because he felt as though that was a lost opportunity for Max to
Mm-hmm.
win another 8 points more than what he managed to get in
Mm.
Monaco. Of which, if you think about now, Brazil and the old switcheroo, it refers back to the same race. So
Yeah.
maybe there
Yep.
is merit rumor that Max was saying he's not going to do that because of what happened in Monaco, because he still feels aggrieved, irrespective of the fact that he's already wrapped up the championship and the team have wrapped up the constructors. And ultimately, if you think about it, Max has cost Sergio or the team that second place in the championship because now Charles Leclerc is the one who's second, who's runner up in the championship, which
Mm-hmm.
means that for me, I know it's sort of a sideshow, but
Mm-hmm.
it illuminates even further the importance of that decision by
Mm-hmm.
Max not to move up in Brazil because now Sergio is third. So Red Bull have still never had a 1-2 finish in the championship in their whole 15 to 17-year history.
Yeah, and it could never happen because next year, if Mercedes are back to the business, it's going to be complicated for them because I'm telling you,
And
if that's
Ferrari.
yeah, but if that Mercedes car comes between 2/10 of that Red Bull car next year,
Uh-huh.
it's going to be complicated for Red Bull to manage those two because yeah, Mercedes with Hamilton and Russell, two Alpha drivers. Yep. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So here's another comment from Christu. He says Red Bull, the most hated team on the grid at the moment. And then he puts that shoo
Mm,
emoji. Their dominance is quite easily explained, in my opinion. They had an upper hand this season because Adrian knew he was the one in the
mm,
paddock with the meaningful past experience concerning
yep.
ground effect Formula One cars, which is what you already alluded to.
Yep.
So obviously, and Chris too, he's very technical. He is the co-host of a podcast known as Fan of the Drive
Oh,
with
amazing.
Sibu. I don't know if you've seen the guy. Yes, I don't know if you've seen the guy who wears glasses, has a bit of a beard, very witty on Motoza. So he's the other co-presenter of Fan of the Drive. So shout out one time to Fan of the
Yeah, we
Drive,
need to,
and he's
yeah, we
right.
need to connect. We need to connect all of you guys. Talk about the
100%,
sport,
100%. Yes, those are our people we're definitely going to connect. So we move on to Ferrari. Sainz and Leclerc, 554 points. What do you rate their season? Because we said, okay, you didn't give me your rating for Red Bull. I said I'm giving them 9 out of 10. I'm giving Max 9 as well. Then I'm giving Sergio an 8, 7, 7.
I'm not too good
Yeah.
with ratings, but yeah, I will say the team has done a tremendous job. If you consider the pit stop and everything. No, they will a nine, yeah. And Max, yeah, within 15 races, no one can be perfect. We've seen, when the I don't know, when the Mercedes came to know he was not aggressive, but when Mercedes started to come, it was interesting to
Then
see.
he went back to his oversteering
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
driving style. Yeah. But I mean, I
But
think every
yeah, but you cannot
opportunity
take.
he had to win, he took it. For me,
Yeah,
that's why he
yeah,
gets a 9. Because
of
the
course.
Perez thing, and etc., you know. And of course, they had the two DNFs in the beginning of the
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
So it wasn't a perfect season for them. And obviously, the fact that they didn't manage to surpass the record of
Mm,
Mercedes getting the 765 points. So I think 9 is fair. And the fact that it's their first constructor since 2013. I mean, they've worked very hard. Yes, of course, there are controversies around that, but today we're not going to focus on that. We'll just
mm.
give them a round of applause.
Yeah, yeah, bravo.
Okay, so Ferrari season, how do you rate that?
Yeah,
Leclerc.
yeah.
First of
It's
all,
for
who do you think has performed better between the two drivers? Because I
no
think more
Leclerc.
than anything,
Leclerc,
people are
100%.
focusing Leclerc.
Yeah, yeah, Leclerc, 100%. It's easy to say.
Okay,
He's been more
because of the points.
yeah, he's like almost it's 308 points to 246. So Leclerc has been more consistent. He has been more in front in qualifying. He has been quicker in races, even
Has the
though
most poles season.
yeah, he has the most poles. He's been the quicker of the two guys, and he's made less mistakes as well. When Carlos
Mhm.
went out in Imola, he went out in Japan, he went out in Australia. So even though
And he didn't overtake Max in Canada as well, in Montreal, because he had fresher tires and a faster car. But I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
he wasn't aggressive enough. If that was Leclerc, he's overtaking and taking that position, in my opinion,
I don't
that
know.
first place.
I'm not so sure, but maybe. Well, Canada was before
Yeah,
Australia, so yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, there, Science's tires was almost brand new. They were soft
Mm,
tires, which is a quicker tire. We know Montreal, it's a power sensitive circuit. You can overtake there. I mean, if he was driving in the DRS zone for a good 10 laps and couldn't make an impression on someone who didn't have DRS, I felt as though, but I felt as though he wasn't aggressive enough in that race. But to be fair,
mm-hmm,
after the summer break, he's come out. In fact, after the win in Silverstone, he's just gone from strength to strength. And I think
mm-hmm.
next season, he's probably going to hit the ground running. He has said that the car setup, he was still adjusting to it.
Yeah,
Last
yeah.
season, he said that even in the tail end of the season. So I think now he's finally gotten into the groove of the car. I don't think that he has the natural raw pace of Max and Charles,
Mm-hmm.
but he's a clever driver, you know? He's fast when he needs to be, and he's strategic. I mean, he's the one who's gone against the team's
Yeah.
strategy calls when the team maybe want him to pit and he doesn't think that it's the appropriate time, which we haven't seen so much with Charles. You know, Charles is sort of listening to everything that the team says he must do, but science, he's using his instinct and just being more proactive, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, yeah,
Your
you're
thoughts on
right.
that?
You're right. Like, yeah, yeah. He's more like a general, or a captain. You
Mm,
know, Captain
yes,
Carlos. Don't
exactly.
beat me. you know.
And I'm sure part of that is the guidance that he has from his father, who was obviously a rally champion, Carlos Sainz
Mm-hmm.
Sr. I mean, he's got that mentor who's a racer.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Charles, obviously Charles' father is late. Um, so little things like that, those little decisions, maybe sometimes you need someone who's going to guide you
Mm-hmm.
you know, because sometimes you've never fought at the front. I mean, it's the first time that Carlos Sainz has been racing for race
Mm-hmm.
wins, podiums and pole positions, etc.
Yep.
So I think having that mentor, for lack of a better word, has also helped him settle into the Ferrari. And next year is his third year in the team. And I think for
Yep.
him, it's literally the situation where now he needs to show and stamp his
Yep.
authority and say,
Yep.
there's no number one driver at Ferrari.
Mm.
I'm can be just as good as Leclerc has been. Maybe he beats me in qualifying, but I've got better race pace. I'm showing consistency, and it's really going to be sort of a year of definition for him, don't you
And
think?
for both of them, my friend, for both of them.
Yeah, 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 for both of them. But Charles, I mean, he's got the trust of the team, he's got the backing of the team, and at least he's got more race wins under his belt. He's got the most poles this season, so
Yep.
I think yes, he's got the pressure of being a Ferrari driver,
Mm.
which is applicable to both of them, and having made the 3 or 4 mistakes he made this season, we don't want to see that next season. We want to see
Mm.
a more well-rounded driver who makes less
Mm-hmm.
mistakes and takes his opportunities when they're given to him. Of course, for
Yep.
me, I feel as though Ferrari as a team, they need to use this because now, I mean, the season starts on the 5th of March. So they don't have much time as they would under
Yep.
normal circumstances. So literally less than 4 months from now. Preseason testing is literally a week before that, on the
Yep.
25th of March in Bahrain, and the first race is in Bahrain. So they won't leave the venue between preseason testing,
Mm.
excuse me, and the first race of the season. So between now and then, and Mattia Bonotto came out and said, listen, we stopped developing the car 4 or 5 races ago. So
Mm.
we are focusing on 2023's car. Last year when they said that, I think we sort of were like excuses. But the way
Yep.
they came out this year, it became justified. But reliability has been a big issue on both Ferraris, and obviously the pit stops, I think, being the main thing.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Basically, you're
Yeah.
you're right. They have to use, because it's been before this year. It's been like 2, 3 years since 2018. They've not been fighting for the title. So now they are back to the front. They have to make the mistake. They have to use this season as a catalyst to maybe perform way better next season. But next year, I think they've, like Charles said, explained after the race, like if you look at the way they've lost the championship, yeah, it's hard on them. But if
Mm-hmm.
you look at the way they've come back from the 2020 and 2021 season, it's a massive improvement. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, with this starting point, they have to do much better next year, and all of them will be, you know, everyone will be waiting for Ferrari. They cannot do mistakes. They have to be there from the get-go until the end, because they've had the season to make mistakes. The driver has had the
Mm-hmm.
season to make mistakes. They've been fighting at the front, and yes, they
Mm-hmm.
have to be there next year. Next year will be a defining year
Oh,
for both of them. Both of them have
mm-hmm.
contract, I believe, that ends in 2024, because Sainz
Mm-hmm.
re-signed at the beginning of the season, to go longer.
Extending his contract to
Yes, extending his
2025.
contract,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, 2020, the end of 2024, like Leclerc. So, or maybe the end of 2023. I don't know. I'm not so sure, but I think he had like 2 season to 2020 to 2024. So both of them, they are at the crossroad of
Settled in the team. Yeah.
it's
I'm
a,
just
it's
getting a
it's a
WhatsApp. Sorry there, Pat. I'm just getting a WhatsApp saying that there's a viewer here, for a mate of mine. He's actually watching, and he says that the live chats are turned off. But how's Christu then chatting on the live? I know Christu is logged on through Facebook, and he's
mm,
on YouTube. So we'll just need to look into that, because we do want to engage other fans,
mm,
get their points of view, you know, on what's happening. Hopefully, we'll speak to our technical team. I think they might be watching as well. Maybe they can
mhm,
help us turn on the live on YouTube. Uh, Let me just send Kulu a text. Are you watching? Sorry, mate.
mhm,
If so, please help us with live chats on YouTube. Okay, he's responding. Yes, you can carry on. Sorry, where were you?
yep, no worries, no worries. So no, I was saying that, yeah, next year is a defining moment for Ferrari, a defining season, and yeah, it will be interesting to see the dynamic there, because they are, I believe, both drivers, they get on well. That's cool, the way that they get on well out of the track.
And they also pretty evenly matched. I know
Yeah.
we that there's a better driver so far, has had a better
Mhm.
F1 career, but Science is no slouch.
Yeah, yeah, it's very easy. He's very good.
And this year, gotten his first win, and he says all chats are synced on Restream. So Mbulelo should be able to comment then. Okay, but we'll address that next time because we don't have much time. Of course, we're
Mm,
still sort of new in this platform, so we're all learning. So you'll
mm,
forgive us, people. Otherwise, we do want your views in the comment section, and we will read them out. And when we monetize, all donations are welcome in the form of
mm.
super chats. And we'll obviously read those first as a matter of priority. But thank you for logging on to the stream. Shout out one time. Keep going, Pat. Yes. So you're saying next year is a defining moment for the team. Let me ask you this then. Mattia Bonotto, team principal. Does he stay? Is he part of
If it's
this
if
last
it's
time?
if I am John Elkann, yeah, I'm saying this thing. You need stability in the team. You need. That's why
Okay.
next.
You're actually
If
the first fan I've heard say that he must stay, because everyone is saying Binotto out, even the non-Ferrari fans.
no, I think it's too easy to, we don't know what the work, what is the work in the background. The teams need stability to perform at a very high level. Look at Red Bull. They've
Really?
been here. They've been there for years. So they've won a championship this year, but they are pretty much the same top people at the team: Christian Horner, Helmut Marko. even Guillaume Roquelin. So, who's not in the team. He's in the junior program, I think. But it's
Mm-hmm.
the big guns have been there for years, and even
Your helmet Marcos, Adrian Newey's.
yeah,
Yeah, you're
Adrian Newey,
right.
of course. Sorry, of course, Adrian Newey. So it's the same people. So you need the stability in the people. Even in my job
Yeah.
today, my boss was saying that he was happy that people are stable, because that's how you make a winning combination. So they have stability between the management, they have stability between the drivers. So now they've made the mistake, they don't have to make them twice, or they could they
Mm-hmm.
could they could be they could be next year is a defining moment for them. If they come close next year, it will be a massive improvement. If they can, one of the drivers could fight until the end, could be cool.
At least till the end, yes. I hear you by come close, but I mean, for me, Charles Leclerc, at some point, I was saying I think he would win the title before Max. But from 2021, I
Hmm.
would say Max has developed his skill to a higher
Hmm.
level and
Yep.
more rapidly than what Charles has. He's shown more
It's normal.
composure.
Mm.
Yes. I mean, 16 days apart in terms of age. So there's nothing in it. It's just that Charles looks very young. That's why everyone always thinks he's much younger than Max. So I think Max has improved tremendously in terms of developing compared to Charles. But
Mm.
Charles this year has has participated in his first championship fight.
Yep. That's the thing. That's the
Ne?
difference.
So so next year, for me, he needs to kick on to go on and win the title, or like you
Mm.
say, at worst, um, take it to the last race. And obviously,
Hmm.
with the Mercedes boys, we expect them to come
Yep.
back next season. Then maybe, I mean, they are allowed to race. We know that.
Mm.
Toto's made that very clear. So say they would be the two drivers in contention. Then it will be Max at Red Bull. And then we'll say Charles, as because we both agree that he's the lead driver at Ferrari.
Hmm.
Then he will be the one leading the charge for Ferrari. Then that would mean it would be a four-horse race for the title and three-horse race for the constructors, which would be
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. It would be nice, obviously, even better if Checo and Sainz come to the party as well. Then we
Hmm.
have six drivers going for the title. You know, that would, like, for me, be the ideal situation where this driver wins this week, that driver wins
At
next week,
least,
the other driver
yeah.
wins in
But I
the
hope, man.
seesaw kind of.
I really hope
Yeah,
Alpine, McLaren, also, and Aston Martin, obviously, join the party. Let me tell you why. Because I'm French, so it will be amazing to see a French team participate in into the party. It will be, I seriously believe that Oscar Piastri is something incredible. And
agreed.
basically, and Lando has done a tremendous season this year, even though it's going a little bit under the radar. I'm not really his fan, but he's done a really good job. He's very funny, but he's done a very.
Oh, Tulu, our marketing director. If he was there, he'd be like, no, no, Lando. He's like, George, he gets hyped by the English media. No, but I hear you. No, he has driven, especially if you compare against Daniel Ricciardo, who we
Mm,
know is a quality driver. Beat
mm,
Sebastian Vettel in the same equipment, beat
mm.
Max Verstappen, and people tend to forget this. Two of the
Yep,
three in the
yep.
seasons they were teammates, you know. Anyway, okay, let's move from Ferrari. So you say Binotto stays. I say I wouldn't keep him. I don't want to lie. I hear the stability. He's been there for a while. He's been with the team for over 25 years. And I think he's had ample time to show what he can do. When he was chasing, he seemed to be sharp. I really liked his demeanor and all of that. But for me, my biggest problem with Binotto is that he pretends, or in the media, he speaks as though everything is going hunky dory at Ferrari. And the fact that they can make a mistake at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, make
Mm-hmm.
the same mistake in Catalonia, make the
Mm-hmm.
same mistake in Paul Ricard, make the same mistake in Spielberg, make the same, you know what I mean? For
Mm-hmm.
me, I don't understand how that happens because we expect them to make a mistake. I don't know what race it was. And I was like, please, fuck it up, Ferrari. Please fuck it up. And guess what? They fucked it up. Literally, as Sainz came into the pits, it was one of these night races. Might have been Mexico, if not USA. And then he goes in, and then they fuck up the pit stop, as we expected them to. You know. So for me, you can't do things. What's Albert Einstein saying? You can't do things the same way and expect different results. Yeah,
I
well.
don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty much. This is the point. I have your point. I have your point. This is Formula One, and
Mm.
shouldn't make
Exactly. It's a
mistakes. But
ruthless sport. And there's guys like Cyril Abitpool out of work. Guys
yeah, but
like
the thing is, look,
Gun.
if you look, let me tell you
Hmm.
something about Ferrari. If you look at
Hmm.
Ferrari, because it's an iconic brand
Hmm.
also, okay, and that's maybe why they
Yes.
get so much attention because they are the team with the most championship, the most wins and everything in Formula One. So we expect
All
better
this
from
team. Yeah.
Ferrari. But if we go back to the when teams had time to work on the new regulations, so
Hmm.
Ferrari had tremendous amount of time. They were saying that they started very early at the development of the car in 2021,
Yes.
same as Alpine,
Yes.
same as McLaren, same as Aston Martin, same as a lot of teams. So it's the only team that has made the gap, to be fighting, to be in between Red Bull and Mercedes, even though Mercedes were
So they
nowhere.
have actually, when you look at it holistically, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. They've made the step, unlike other teams.
That that
That's
is
and
fair.
that's very important to see or as well to. Sorry, I was saying in French, but it's very important as well to.
You can speak French here, blood.
No,
We
no,
wanna
no. I
learn,
try.
you
I
know.
try to speak my English very. Speaking with you makes it improve it. So yeah, I
No,
was
you
saying that.
speak very good English.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So yeah, I was saying that
Yes.
they've made an improvement. And I believe, it's like a human being, when you are growing up, when you are trying to work, you fall down, you make the mistakes, and pretty much I think they are on this path, even though we expect much more and better from them. But it's a completely it's not a completely new team, but it's not like they have been the same people for years. Look at Red Bull. I've told
Ah,
you earlier that they have like the same people at the top management for
personnel.
years. Look at
Yes.
Mercedes as well. And it's taking it's taking time to gel in, in the whole team. So they made the
No,
improvement
I
in
hear
that.
you. I hear you. I guess we're just more disappointed that they had enough to win this title and they didn't. And it's on them. Yes, you're right to say from where they were last season, they've made a huge step forward. So for that, we can't downmark them, so to speak.
Mm,
But literally, they had enough because, in a championship fight, when you get these situations where you have no competition, that's where now you become more confident and all of that.
mm,
Kanti, if we had a situation whereby Charles was wheel to wheel exchanging race wins with Max and all of that, then Max wouldn't be as composed as he was because, like you
mm,
say, when we saw the Mercedes challenging him, he stopped being the clinical on his own driver on his own league because it's
mm,
different when there's someone there racing him. Yes, of course, he's been very superior compared to Charles in the
mhm,
races where they had wheel races, and they did keep it
mm,
clean. But I think uh, Charles maybe needs to improve zero point 0.5 to 1%
mm.
more to just put Max, take him out of his comfort zone,
Yep.
and just maybe trigger him in a similar fashion that we've seen in his race in wheel to wheel racing against Lewis,
Mhm. Yeah,
you know? So
I believe,
yes.
yeah, I believe it was all respectful because I believe Max psychology had the edge on Charles. So, look at how Saudi
100%.
Arabia overtakes Leclerc, Miami as well happening,
Hmm.
and then happening in other races, putting Max Charles under pressure in France, and Charles basically made the mistake, you know. And when Max
Mm.
is on a bad day, like, even when Charles overtook Max for 3 times in Austria, Max only lost like 5 points, you know. When Max is on a
Uh-huh.
bad day, he's not losing points, and is winning in
Yes, he still
Hungary.
manages to collect a good number of points. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
winning in
agree with that.
Hungary from 11th, winning in Spa from 13th because he was 14th, but the AlphaTauri of Gasly suddenly started from the pit lane, and
Hmm.
and he had the edge even in Monza. In Monza that was clear.
Yes, yes, he did.
In
He
Monza, it's
did.
like okay, I had doubts, but yeah, Verstappen at the moment is the better Sunday driver of the two. But
100%.
it's normal. It's normal
100%.
because last year Verstappen fought with Lewis Hamilton. When you fight,
Yes, to the end.
against a
And
seven-time
he
world
is world
champion.
champion.
Yep, yeah, he's world champion.
Yes.
He's fight with
But also, Max, his mentality, he's always been okay. So the benchmark is Lewis. I
mm,
aim at him. I don't really, not to say, of course, he respects the other drivers, but he doesn't see them as his equals.
mm,
He sees them, he only measures himself against Lewis. And that has given him an extra push,
mm,
to say, look, if I beat Lewis, I become the best.
mm,
And that's literally been his approach throughout his whole F1 career, and obviously he's got the talent to back it up,
mhm.
you know. That's what I think. But anyway, so Ferrari, I'll let you rate their season. I know you
No,
said you're
no,
not good with
I'll give
ratings, but
him
what
like
would you give?
I don't like to give ratings, but I go with like maybe 8 just for the jump from
Okay.
2021 to 2022. They've done a solid job from where they are coming from. They
They were
have to
like,
improve, but it will be
for I
interesting.
think
I'll
last
do a
season.
poll. Hmm.
Mhm. Yes, do a poll, actually. Me, I would say last season for Ferrari was 4 out of 10.
Hmm.
So including the jump from four
Hmm.
to where they are now, they were still best of the rest because they came third in the constructors. Um, but they were far, far, far behind from Mercedes and Red Bull last season. So, based on the improvement that they made to come in between and finish in between Mercedes and Red Bull, that would give them 6, but nothing more. With all the mistakes, the reliability
Mhm.
issues, the repeated mistake. That's the same mistake. I can't give them anything more than a six. I'm sorry. They need to go back to the drawing board. It's good that they improved the speed of the car, but it also transpired that apparently they'd been turning up their engines too high, and this
Mhm.
was also part of the cause of their reliability problems. So
Mhm.
based on that, it's like now they are, you know, going through puberty in F1. No,
Mhm.
no. Yeah. So I'll give them six. Let's move to Mercedes. We have been on the stream for 55 minutes now. I don't know how your timetable is
Yeah, I'm
looking
gonna
there.
leave like yeah, I'm gonna leave like at 9. We need to do
Okay.
more of those.
Let's do this then. We can stop the stream now because it's only 3 minutes till nine
Yeah,
on your
yeah. We can
side,
do some.
which is 10 on. Then we can do some more. We'll obviously have a chat, offline, and then we'll announce it
Mhm.
to our people where we'll continue. And then we'll try and cover from Mercedes right down to Williams on the next one when we both have
Yep.
time. But this time tomorrow, I'm going to be watching Brazil. So definitely
You
not this
have to
time
enjoy. You
tomorrow.
have to enjoy them. You have to. It's the World Cup, my friend.
Yeah,
It's the World
yeah,
Cup.
yes, exactly. And big up to you and France on a great win last night.
Yeah, yeah.
In light of all these upsets that are happening, your Argentinas, your Germanys today. So
Yep.
the fact that you guys won your game, I see Spain won 7-0 against
Yeah.
Costa Rica. That
Seven
is
nil.
wow.
Mhm.
Costa Rica is not a small nation in football.
Mm,
Yes, of
mm.
course, they're not a powerhouse, but 7-0. That's surprising. So big up to them. And you guys won 4-1, eh? 4-2.
Yep.
What is the
Four
score?
one. 4-1.
4-1, yes, 4-1. So you did really well. Olivier Giroud showing that AJ nothing but a number.
Yep. He's matched Thierry Henry in the world in the
Yes,
French record of of goals. That's amazing.
yes. Yeah, that is amazing. So maybe, I don't know, we will look at Friday or over the weekend when you have time. I mean, I'm fairly flexible now going forward,
Okay. Maybe on
because of
Friday. Maybe
the
on
F1
Friday.
season. Yeah, Friday would be a nice day. Then we know that we tackle the other 8 teams. And obviously, it gives our audience something to look forward to because it's still
Yep.
fresh in their minds. And I'm sure they want to hear us unpack Mercedes and Alpine. Like you said, the French team. I also share your view, but I'm not going to say anything now because we have 1 minute. I'm just going to wrap
Mm.
up the stream. So, people, thank you for logging on to Motozar TV. I'm
Thank
here
you.
with Patrice, yes, from F.1 Godfather. I think just give them where they can find you, your handles, and all of that, just before
Yeah,
I
you
wrap
can.
it up.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram first. I have a YouTube channel as well. I have yeah, Instagram and a little bit of Facebook. And I
I
all
didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
you had a YouTube channel. What's it called? Let me subscribe
F
now.
F.1 Godfather as well.
Wow. Okay.
No,
My
no, I have
guy. Okay.
and yeah, I do, and you can find me as well on F.1 interviews on Instagram as well.
Yes. So you'll tell them more about what you do. I just didn't know what we can and cannot disclose. So I didn't want to go into deep, but we'll talk about that offline.
Mm,
And then we'll obviously pick up the conversation on Friday.
mm.
There, I see you. I just subscribed now. Oh,
Thank you, my
wow.
friend. Thank you,
Hey, you're
thank you.
doing the things, my man. Okay. Thank you, people. Yes, remember it's Motozar underscore TV across all platforms. We're on Twitch,
Motozar TV.
Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you look, you'll find us. Thank you for logging on to the stream. It's me, Ulufefe, the F1 vlogger, which with my good man Pat Loni from who's the group leader, right? Of F.1 Godfather. So you guys are a whole community of F1 content creators in France, correct?
No, I'm alone.
Oh, so group leader is. Oh, I thought Obla and all those guys, they're also part of F.1
No, no,
Godfather.
I said group because I have a group of Instagram pages. I have like two, three pages,
Oh,
that I
like a group
manage
of
of
company.
page. That's the thing.
Mm.
That's the secret.
Better.
Don't tell
I see.
anyone.
Plus a day job.
Mm.
No, nice one. Nice one. You're doing great work. I'm very impressed with your research. I mean, your information. For me, right now, you are my number one source of current affairs in F1. Do you know
Oh,
that?
thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Yes.
We share together.
Away.
You're giving me ideas. All of them, all of the people out there as well, giving me ideas to share about.
Away.
So we are all in this together. But it's just like we just need to connect, and that's we will be okay.
100%. And then
Mm.
some of the streams, we should do them on your platform as well, where you
Mhm.
invite me as a guest. Yeah?
Yep, yep, yep.
Because I didn't
I
know
don't
you
do
had.
lives, but it could be on Instagram as well. It
That's
would be
fine. I
amazing.
mean, we can just be doing Motozar for now,
Mm.
but in the future, like next season and all of that,
Yep, yep.
So that's how
We have
we'll
to.
help each other grow. Because I see at
Yep.
least you're on 5K subs, so that's not bad at all, eh?
Mm.
Yeah, your numbers are very impressive, and you've done 215 videos.
Yep.
No, it's fine. I mean, we doing lives, so we'll just do lives here on this platform, but definitely we need to do collaborations that are going to obviously highlight both channels.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much, Patrice.
Yep.
This was amazing, very
And
enlightening.
enjoy the
Imagine
night,
two
Mr.
teams
Lefefe.
in 1 hour. You too,
Yep.
blood. Thanks. Shout out one
You
time.
too.
Thank you, people, for logging on
Thank
to
you.
Motozar. Away.
See you next time.